got Acelino, Freitas, and Rafael Olvera scheduled for 10 rounds in the lightweight division. We're awaiting the arrival of one more fighter into the ring. Freitas is in the ring, and that's a colorful garb. Lots of stripes and blue trunks and stars and what have you. So he is colorfully garbed across the way, and we are awaiting the arrival of Flaco Olvera. We're not going to call either you or I Flaco, Rich, I can tell you that. Means skinny, you know. So if we at any rate, we are not going to be in that category, unfortunately. Still awaiting the arrival of the other fighter, lightweight division. Freitas is a young man that you see in the ring. There's 14-0. He's got 14 knockouts. What an impressive record he's got. And Olvera, 13-4, has got 8 knockouts. So this could be KO City. Remind you that Fox Sports Net's Fight Night will be back Monday, June 22nd. We'll be coming to you from the Great Western Forum in Inglewood, California. The NABO junior middleweight champion, Rodney Jones, who's 20-2 with 11 knockouts, will go against Javier Altamirano, who's a veteran at 41-9 and with 35 knockouts. That'll be a very big fight for you, the 22nd of June, Monday, from the Great Western Forum. Rodney Jones, junior middleweight champion, NABO, and Javier Altamirano. What a great card that is, and we want to remind you to join us on the 22nd for that. All right, we've got the other young man in the ring now, tall. He's not only Flaco, he is tall. Rafael Olvera. He's a 13-4 with 8 knockouts, 22-year-old kid. And he's 5'8", where Freitas is 5'4". So we'll see about this.
I tell you, it's another. This is turning into the night of the young prospects here so far. This kid Freitas, who you're looking at there, is a tremendous prospect out of Brazil.
All right, Jimmy Lennon Jr. is standing by to introduce the fighters, Mr. Flaco and Mr. Olvera, and of course Mr. Freitas. And here's Jimmy.
Well, fans, we continue our action with another 10-round attraction. This time we present lightweights in the ring, scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing now our referee in charge of this bout, we have Lou Filippo. All right, fans, here we go. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with black trim, hailing from El Paso, Texas. He weighed in 132 1/2 pounds with a record of 13 wins, 4 losses. He has 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Rafael Flaco Olvera. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner in this 10-round attraction, wearing blue trunks with multicolored trim, joining us all the way from Bahia, Brazil. He weighed in 132 1/2 pounds. His record is a perfect one, undefeated in his campaign in the ring with 14 wins, no losses. All 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the undefeated Acelino, Popó, Freitas. Once again, a referee in charge, Lou Filippo, now to give instructions. 10 rounds of boxing scheduled.
Okay, gentlemen, you had your instruction in the dressing room. Shake hands. Let's have a good fight.
All right, the tail of the tape for Popó and Flaco. Freitas is 5'7", Olvera 5'8". They both came in at 132.5 as announced, although it shows you a half-pound difference. 22 years of age for each one of them. Couple of young fighters. 67-inch reach for Freitas. And Olvera, Flaco, has a reach of 68. Popó and Flaco, Rich, and this ought to be a dandy. Olvera's in the white and the black trim, and in the blue, white, and red. That is the young man from Brazil.
Now, Tom, our tail of the tape said 5'7" against 5'8", but Freitas looks shorter and looks to be more of a height disadvantage than that.
Yes, indeed he does. I think he's about 5'4" or 5.
I want to point one thing out. Olvera does not look, as he came into the ring late and looked like he rushed into the ring. He wasn't ready to come into the ring. He's bone dry, Tom. And his opponent, Freitas, in there, was warming up and had broken a sweat. And Olvera, I think, is in danger of getting caught cold here in the first round. He looks like he's fighting as a cold fighter here in round 1.
Very interesting and correct observation, no question about it. I think the sudden ending of the first fight caught him unawares in the dressing room, and he is, you're exactly right, bone dry, contrasted with a patina or a light sheen on the body of Freitas, who was ready apparently, doing some shadow boxing and was in the ring and bouncing about. And he's all over Flacco and drops him with a right hand. Flacco gets up and walks over on the far side. He seems to be all right, but you never know. Lou Filippo counts up to 8, takes a good long look at him, and here we go again.
The crowd booing, but remember, as we pointed out, he's getting caught cold here in round 1.
Yeah.
He just doesn't seem ready to get into it yet.
No, and he's been nailed with the right hand, and I tell you, Freitas is not going to give him any chance to catch his breath and get himself acclimated to the ring if he can help it. So Flacco Olvera is going to have to hang on and hold on and try to weather this first round hailstorm of blows coming his way. You better start throwing some punches to keep Freitas off him, Rich, or he's going to be gone before this first round is over, and that would be a shame. He's a talented young fighter.
He's got to get his jab or something going, Tom, to get Freitas off of him. Freitas not only has power, but he throws very quick punches, and he is all over a hurt and obviously confused Olvera.
No question about it. Olvera not throwing any punches, trying to cover up, but he's not doing a great job of that either, and gets nailed with a big right hand. You would think that instinct alone would take over and he'd start to throw some punches back, which he did for a moment. Gets nailed with a big right, goes down, he bounces right back up. Boy, he'd be better served, Rich, to take a count of 8 and then get up. He says he's all right. Down for the second time here in round number 1, but he's got to throw some punches or Freitas is just going to feed him his lunch.
We were told that...
But he might last a round out. A half minute to go and less now, and they get wrestled to the turf in front of us.
Tom, we were told that Freitas is supposed to be the best Brazilian prospect since the days of Ader Joffrey.
Well, that is a rare company indeed. Round 1 is coming to a close. What a wild affair. We'll be right back.
2 knockdowns. The first, a flash knockdown, but nothing flash about this. Look at that right hand that Freitas unloads, and down goes Olvera for the second time in the round.
So we go to live action again here in round number 2. Olvera, as Rich told you, came into the ring just cold, not warmed up. His people doing him an injustice, really, not to have him prepared to get into the ring against a guy who's just like a wildcat as he swarms all over him, and that would be, of course, Freitas. He's in the blue trunks, and Flacco is in the white, trimmed in black. He's a very fine young fighter, this kid. It's a shame to let him get in the ring when he's not warmed up and not ready to go. But he seems now to be a bit more composed and a bit more at ease with his surroundings. We'll see if he can keep this wildcat, Freitas, from just swarming all over him again.
He's getting into it a little more here in round number 2. He did land one good right hand, but we should point out that Freitas, despite not only has this sparkling professional record of 14-0 with 14 KOs, but as an amateur, he was very good, Tom. He was a silver medalist in the Pan Am Games. He holds a win over the Cuban world champion Julio Gonzalez in the amateur ranks. He won the Boxino tournament last year, which was the 8 Nations amateur tournament, including fighters from the United States. He has a brilliant amateur record. This kid is being talked about as having a tremendous future, and at least so far that we've seen, he's had the look of it.
He's 132.5 pounds, this Freitas, in the blue, white, and red striped trunks. He's the smaller of the 2 men. Flacco Olvera is 5'8", and Freitas is probably 5'5". But boy, I tell you, he's a whirlwind in there. And you talk about focused and intent upon what he wants to do. Whether he can do it or not remains to be seen. This guy is very much tuned in to what's happening here at the pond in Anaheim.
And that said, we should point out that his opponent, Rafael Flacco Olvera, has already won and lost the Mexican National Championship at 126 pounds. He defeated, knocked out a very good fighter, Tom, that we've seen, Javier Jorregi, in 11 rounds to win that championship.
Had a nice combination left and right there, Rich, that brought an ooh and an ah and a roar from the crowd as they have a tendency now to swing for the underdog. And the way the kid Olvera came into the ring in round number 1, totally unprepared for the fight, it appeared. Certainly unprepared prepared for the onslaught of punches that Freitas threw at him. He now is beginning to fight back, and this one's scheduled for 10. It may not be over after 1. At any rate, round 2, much better for Olvera, coming to a close, and we'll be back to see about round 3 in a moment. It's Olvera, Rich, that came off his stool and out in the center of the ring in a hurry. It looked as though there might have been a smear of red above his left eye. We'll keep an eye on that. But he seemed to be much more tuned in to what's happening now in the ring here at the pond in Anaheim.
Well, now that he's broken a sweat,
yeah.
but he sure dug a hole in the first round. And we had a suspicion, Tom, as that first round started, that that's exactly what would happen. And he falls way behind in points because of that, of course.
That's right. Knocked down twice in that first round. It looked for all the world like the fight was over. And Freitas, sensing that he can put this guy away. What a brawl we're getting into in a wrestling match. And Lou Filippo, third man in the ring, is going to be very busy keeping these two guys separated throughout this one. Couple of big right hands, each one throwing and each one landing in return, and both men kind of just stood right straight up by the punches. Good uppercut by Freitas. He moves in on his man. He has got Olvera in big trouble. Hit him with solid shots and knocks him down. Olvera staggering to his feet.
And those spindly legs are having trouble holding him up underneath.
Boy, Filippo looking at him carefully. I tell you, he's in no condition to continue, I don't think, Rich. I think he's in big trouble here, and I think Freitas senses it as he tries to finish him off right here.
Freitas wants to just throw as many punches as he possibly can. He figures something is going to get home. He's getting a little wild and a little sloppy here, though, and trying to finish him off.
No knockdown, instead of rustled to the canvas for Olvera, whose face is beginning to bleed profusely, blood from the nose. Lou Filippo looking him over very closely, and he's going to stop him. He says no more for Flacco, whose face is becoming to be a mask of red. He came into the ring not prepared for the onslaught this kid Freitas was going to throw at him. Freitas unmarked. Boy, he's like a wild man, isn't he?
He's just a buzzsaw in the ring, Tom. And I'm very excited. We've seen two terrific prospects here this evening, and Ricardo Maldonado appears to have corralled another future champion in Acelino Freitas. Now you see Freitas, look at that right hand. Olvera has nowhere to hide, and down he goes. And you know, Tom, I think when they exchanged those right hands that you referred to earlier, where they each landed the right hand at the same time, I think Freitas carried far more weight. Here is the end of the fight. And Lou Filippo had seen enough, and even though there wasn't a definitive punch there right at the finish, it was clear what the outcome was about to be, and it was not going to be good for Rafael Olvera.
Yeah, and I think it was very wise for the referee to stop this fight, because Freitas was just too much of everything for the youngness, skinny kid. Didn't really have it going for him tonight. We'll be back to get the official time and the KO win after this. Pond here in Anaheim. Well, we told you, I hate to say we're right, but when we're right, we're right. Rich and I told you at the start of the show this could be Knockout City here tonight. And so far it has been every bit of that. Jimmy Lennon Jr. has got the official time of the KO win. And let's go to Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 54 seconds in round number 3. A referee in charge, Lou Filippo, stops the contest. The winner by way of knockout, improving his record to 15-0 with 15 knockouts, Acelino Popó Freitas.
Popó Freitas, very impressive, 15-0. Where does Antonio Curtis find these guys? What a great-looking prospect he is, as Vasquez was. And, of course, this is World Cup time, isn't it? And he's a Brazilian, and maybe Brazil's got the best team in the world. I don't know. But there he is, working on his soccer game. Boy, his fight game's in great shape. We've got super middleweights, Leach against Banner. That'll be our next attraction for you. Fight Night at the Pond continues. Stay tuned.
Anoche